Hello again. Welcome to Building the International Space Station. If you're just tuning into this series, go back because you will have missed a lot. If you're joining us from yesterday, welcome back. I'm glad you're still enjoying that you're here today. Now, today we are launching the Functional Cargo Block, which was launched by Russia. It was one of the first three original nodes to the station. In fact, it was more than one of the first three original nodes. It was the first node that was launched as the space station. Now you'll notice today that our rocket has changed. It has upgraded. We now have four solid rocket motors on the first stage. Additionally, we have added some additional monopropellant on our upper stage just to make sure we have enough maneuvering on orbit because this module weighs much more. Once we get up to that final stage, we will be doing our calculations so we know exactly how many tons this block of the station weighs. So we're getting close here to solid rocket motor cutoff. And there we go. And separation of those. And nice and twirl away. Nice. We will see the variant of this rocket launch a couple times. Not too many, but a couple times. Um, so it was this module was part of the Soviet TKS spacecraft. It was originally intended to be used as a resupply craft for the Almaz space stations. They did do some test flights of it during the Salyut space station program. Um, the functional cargo block, as it's called, provides quote unquote functional support in the form of electrical power, propulsion, guidance, and docking. The support for cargo operations is supplied in the form of a pressurized habitable cargo storage section, which is also accessible by crew, and externally mounted fuel tanks. And in the spirit of this being the first Russian module launched, we did the fairing in black and orange. We will be separating our fairing here in just a minute so you can see this massive cargo block. And admittedly, it's a little bit too big compared to the other. There it is, to the other modules that are up there. We should have done it, or I should, not we. I'm the one who did it. Should have done it a little bit better. Now, because we launched, I'm going to see if we can get a direct to orbit intercept. And whoa, we're pretty close. I bet we can. We're going to mess around with our maneuver node here for a minute and see if we can get a direct ascent um, intercept. That would be great, especially because this is so heavy. Excuse me. And working on circularizing. We couldn't get a good direct ascent intercept, so we're gonna do this instead. But that's all right. Still gonna get there. Now, if you've been paying close attention to our other launches, you'll notice that we typically have quite a bit of delta V left over in this second stage. But today, even with the four strap-on solid boosters, we don't have a lot of leftover delta V in this upper stage. In fact, this is the first time that we almost use all of it. So just shows you, and I've got my calculator here ready. As soon as we separate, we can get that information about that upper stage, and we'll see how much this functional cargo block weighs. We were going to be a little bit low on that burn, as you could see, so we did raise our apoaps a little bit, which used up a lot more delta V. So we definitely are going to use up all of our delta V up in this second stage now. But you can see this station module part is pretty much the same size as our upper stage. So now attached to this functional cargo block on the Nadir side, there will be a mini research module attached, which houses a docking port, which visiting Progress Resupply capsules dock to. So we will be launching that soon also. Oh, you know what? Actually, we are going to have a little bit of delta V left over. Not much, though. Only about 200 meters. Oh, how far down do we get? We get all the way down to 184 meters a second. That's pretty low. Okay, so now our ending mass is 21.1 tons, and we've been saying our upper stage weighs 5 tons. So today's launch, we are launching 16.1 tons into orbit. And then again, compared to the other days, 2.4 tons 2 days ago, 1.4 ton yesterday, and then 16.1 ton today. That is absolutely ridiculous. Exactly 12 tons more than yesterday. So that's let you know how heavy this section of the station is. Luckily for us, we were able to get almost exactly into the correct inclination of this station, so we don't have to do um, any sort of inclination change. Now, in real life, doing this can be kind of dangerous. If you launch directly into the inclination of the space station and something goes wrong and you have an explosion, some of your debris can go up into your apoapsis could cross the apoapsis or the periapsis of the space station, which of course puts the space station in danger. Um, but don't gotta worry about that. Today, an incredible space program. This functional cargo block also housed or sports some solar panels and some radiators. That's because, of course, it was the space station. It was the three core parts of the space station, and space station became inhabited after the launch of Node 1. And so there was only three small modules up there, and most of the living space was on the functional cargo block. So it needed to be very functional and serve as the core of the station. We've almost finished doing this intercept burn. Finishing up this burn. And perfect. Oh, 0.0 left in that maneuver. That was absolutely perfect. The separation of 16.5 kilometers, not too bad. And you can see now in our orbit, those CubeSats are starting to spread out along the orbital plane of the station. Now, those don't pose a risk to the station because they were launched from the station, and so even if they get really close or if they happen to impact the station, the relative velocity will be very low because they were launched from it and they didn't do much maneuvering or any maneuvering at all. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is actually a dual launch also. So not only are we launching the functional cargo block, but you see that little piece right there on the end? That little piece is the GEM, Experimental Logistics Module Pressurized section. We talked about that a little bit when we launched the Japanese experiment module. So that will be dropped off first, and then we'll translate over and undock the functional cargo block. The experiment logistics module, which is there on the very top, which we'll be dropping off first, includes two sections. The pressurized section, also called the JLP, the Japanese Logistics Pressurized, it's a pressurized addition to the PM. The module is a storage facility that provides storage space for experiment payloads, samples, and spare items. The unpressurized or external section serves as the EF as a storage and transportation module. So it just sits on top on the zenith side of the Japanese um, experiment module, like a little button right on the top end near the exposed facility. And if we had robotic arms in Kerbal Space Program, there would also be a robotic arm that would be on the experiment module just to the front side of this module, which is used to manipulate the experiments that's out on the exposed facility. I almost forgot that it was on here. Sorry I was quiet for so long, just working on getting closer to the station. A little bit difficult because we're so heavy. Um, we also need to try to preserve enough delta V in our main stage that we can do our deorbit burn. But we're close here now. Time warp, so nice. We don't have to wait this out in real time. There we go. Getting closer now. So again, we're going to go over to the Japanese experiment module and drop off that little payload on the very top, and then we'll translate over to the other side of the station and place the first Russian module on the station. Again, in real life, the Russian module that we're placing was the first one ever launched, so, but that's all right. At least we're declaring that and not pretending like we're doing it in the exact right order, right? That US lab is a little bit crooked on Node 1, or I should say Node 1 is a little bit crooked on that little extension we had to place. Kind of drives me crazy. We'll have to see if we can get that fixed, but it's going to be really difficult to swing around like that. Um, we'll see what we can do though. If not, it's okay. It's not that bad. Alright, just getting this whole huge thing lined up. It probably would have been, well, not probably, it would have been easier had we placed the functional cargo block first and then the Japanese section under that, but because of weight, and we would be hinging that giant functional cargo block on top of that little small um, module, it probably would have crushed it. So we wanted to be as realistic as possible, and so that way we did it with a smaller one on top. Now with this pain in the butt that we went through to get this Japanese module docked to the station, it should be really nice to us today and just let us dock the first time nice and easy. But I have a feeling that it probably won't work out that way. But we can always hope, right? Get a save, just in case. Getting, we are right there. Oh, perfect. Awesome. So, there you go, Japan. Grab another save. There's your module. So now the Japanese section is complete. We're going to undock from here, or decouple. We're not really actually docked to it. And now we will switch over and burn away. Move away nice and slowly. Great. Making sure we left all the bits behind that we need to leave behind, and we're taking all the bits with us that we need to take. And right there is where we need to dock the functional cargo block to. So we'll get that targeted up and get our control point all set up. And we'll swing around the station and dock that. Just going nice and slow. Don't want anything to get too out of control. We might get this docked right in time for a cool, nice sunrise. You can see in the little bit brighter everything. That'll be nice. Quick fun fact about the International Space Station. The solar panels on the International Space Station, because the station is oriented in such a way that the same side of the station is always pointing Earth. The solar panels rotate 360 degrees nonstop every orbit. So I would actually like to know exactly how they do that. I know they use a lot of fancy technology up there on those panels. But you obviously couldn't use cables because they would twist and twist and twist and twist and break motors or something. All of the bad things would happen. So those panels are pretty impressive though, that they're able to just continuously spin around and around and around without ever resetting. Kind of a fun little fact, but all right, we're pretty much lined up here. We're gonna slide in, so make sure we get a dock. I think we're off a little bit. Oh yeah, we're off this way. Oh shoot, oh man, that was bad. Oh man, it's getting worse. Oh man. No, we could save this, but you know, and we could chase that down and get it all fixed up. And nothing's too bad, nothing's damaged, but um, I, yeah, I think we're just gonna go back and get that save that we just did. It just was going a little bit too quick there. That was 100% on me. So we're just gonna go back to that save point that we had. Because like I said, nothing really got damaged. Whoa, stop. Nothing really, or nothing at all got damaged. Um, I was just coming in a little too quick. Just wanted to get this module on and on to the next one. We still got quite a bit of building to do, so just went a little too quick. That was my fault. We'll just go back to that save to this part, and restart. So, oh man, I'm getting kind of far away. Maybe the other one would have been easier. Nah, we're almost done. Get reoriented so I can have better control. There we go. And we can start moving in here in just a second. Alright, there we go. Get moving in. I do like how those RCS thrusters start to glow red after they get used for a little bit. That's kind of cool. Nice little feature. They just added that with Kerbal Space Program 1.7. Making sure we're nice and lined up so we don't have an incident again. Start moving in. Make sure we're lined up. There is a mod that automatically docks everything for you, but I figured where's the fun in that? We'll do it ourselves. Coming in. Yeah, we got it this time. We're a little off, but we'll be alright. We'll get it corrected. We're oriented correctly this time too. We weren't last time. We were rotated, so. And there we go. We are. Wait, are we docked? Yep, we're docked. Awesome. And now I'll just show you these panels. Now they do have. This does have panels, so it would be like this. When this was the first module up here, it was like this, and then you just had the other two modules in front of it, and that was the station for a long time. So we'll get these retracted, and we will uncouple our upper stage, and we will deorbit that, and that'll be the end of this episode. So again, come back tomorrow for some more station building, and we're getting close finally. We've still got a lot of launches to go, but we're working on getting close now. How does that look? Oh, that looks pretty cool. Kind of covers that up. Pretty cool, but still going to block that module. So we've got a problem. We'll talk about it when we go to launch that module, but got a problem with fitting all the pieces in like we need to. So we're going to make a little bit of an adjustment, but yeah. We're going to have to grab on the side of that station and come out the side of the US lab and come out that way instead of off of node 1, which will be okay because there's nothing really there, and I don't think it'll be too close to the Japanese module anyway, so I'll be alright. So there's our departure burn, and then we will face retrograde in our orbit, and we will burn away, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. So thank you for watching.